welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
Do you get that a lot?
I get nice welcomes, actually, yeah. Towards my later football years, for some reason. It's much in the middle. No, I don't know. I think people are very respectful. I think the England thing, 102 caps, and
That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, and I love it.
Where is that on the record books now? Who's the highest?
I was the 8th to get 100.
Yeah.
Peter Shilton is the highest, and then I think it's David Beckham, as you're talking
So
about.
what's Peter Shilton?
He's 125.
Oh, you'll get there.
I won't get there. No. I'm happy with 100. When I started playing for England, I'd never have dreamed of 100. So.
That's amazing.
But obviously, apparently, we're going to the World Cup. Hurrah!
Yes, yeah, which is good news. Otherwise, you wouldn't get that nice reception.
I think that's what it is.
No, it was good. Obviously last week we qualified, and you know, it's hard. It's that you feel the pressure of everyone and willingness to get there. And obviously, as 20 lads in the squad, you really want to do it. So it was nice to get there.
Do you feel that the pressure eases off as you get older because you get more used to it, or does it intensify because you think, how much longer have I got doing this?
Yeah, it's a mixture of those, actually. It does ease with experience, definitely, in terms of going out and playing and the feeling in the tunnel and the crowd and all that stuff. But you do also have an appreciation of the importance of it as you get older, and it won't last forever. So for me, it will be a last World Cup, so I wanted to get...
When do you find out you're in the squad?
Next June, May or June. So I would say it's my last World Cup. I have to be playing well then to get picked.
You've got to do it.
So you might have had your last World Cup then without even knowing.
I've said that. There you go. Positive.
Is it true you've taken up yoga as well as obviously all the fitness stuff that you do?
Yeah, I think a lot of players do that now. Yoga was looked upon as a woman's thing and one of those things you don't do in football. And in the last 5 or 10 years, we said the game's come on a lot, and these things do help prolong your career.
Yeah, in terms of just not only just the stretching,
Core strength, stretching
recovery
legs.
from
we
injury
play every 3 days at the minute, so you have to stretch your muscles out. And
probably helps with nerves as well. The breathing.
The breathing thing was a huge thing for me. I never, was interested in yoga at all until I was about 30, and the whole breathing thing was an issue for me. Trying to actually learn how to breathe properly in and out and open out your lungs.
Can you sing now then? I hear that the Chelsea dressing room is like a spa like no other, with amazing massage tables.
No, you're reading the newspaper. No, they had a thing that we had the sunbed and all these things. That's completely not true. We have sports massage beds. And we are quite spoilt in the football world where we do have some sort of loungy areas. But
and do you all have to go in a big communal shower together?
Yes, we do.
Steady on.
Not get out much, Frank. Just let us have that little fantasy there.
I'll leave it there.
I'm going to rescue you now, Frank. Yeah, children's books. Now, how did this all come about? Frankie's Magic Football. How did this all start?
Well, I came up with the idea a few years ago. I think when you do get old in football years, you look to different
Was it like dog years?
Yeah, dog years. Very quickly. And in around my 30s, I came up with the idea because having 2 young daughters, they was watching cartoons, starting to read books, and I kind of saw a gap in football and adventure football stories, because I grew up as a kid immersed in football completely, and I know boys and girls do nowadays, and there wasn't much out there. So I come up with characters and the storylines, and I eventually got the confidence to put it out there.
So have you written these yourself?
Yes, I have.
That's fantastic.
Is little Frankie you?
Well, that sounds a bit egotistical that I chose my own name and everything for it, but he kind of is. But he's every kid that, sleeps in his football boots, wants all the latest kits and lives and just loves football.
And what's the premise? Because obviously this one here, obviously Frankie versus the Cowboys crew, and you've got here versus the Rowdy Romans and the pirate pillagers. He's obviously a time-travelling footballer.
Well, this is it. He in the first book, which is the Pirate Pillagers, they find Frankie gets a magic ball at a fun fair, and which gives them the power to travel to all these places. And they don't know where they're going, but I wanted to be quite educational and historical in different parts as well. So, of course, pirates maybe is not the most, but you're talking about the Romans and...
There's quite a moral message as well, isn't there, in the new one that's out, about how he misses at the beginning and then the pressure on him, missing the pen. And I like the fact that there's a girl who's a better player than him.
Yes.
Do you think, ultimately, one day, maybe in 30 years' time, because women are getting more and more, do you think a woman could ever play in a male squad and equal?
I'm not sure. I see no reason why not. I think that how how the game's developed in women's football in the last 5 or 10 years has been amazing. Not just the quality of the play, but, you know, the interest in people around it. So
it's actually getting coverage now as well. Which
it is, and you know what we are? We were dinosaurs in football, in the men's dressing room. You know, it was all our game, and, you know, women's football was there. Now we'd all appreciate that there's a lot of skill there.
Your daughters enjoy football?
Not much. No, they like the books because I tried to make them with adventure, so it's not just your football-loving kid.
Yeah.
My two, take it or leave it, which is unfortunate when I take them to Chelsea and they want to,
you
know, talk to Christine and they don't even watch the game.
But is it the kind of thing
I'll get
that
them there in the end.
Yeah. do you read to them at night time?
I do,
bedtime stories?
I do. I started reading to them. I started telling them, making up stories on my own, which obviously hit a dead end quite quickly after a couple of nights. I read to them. I've read these. I use them as a buffer for the books. When I've got them kind of 80% finished, I'd read the books to them at night, and they would tell me what they thought was funny and what I
They're
thought was funny
brutal as well.
Yeah,
they won't lie to you.
There was a good audience for me, actually.
Do you see yourself going into writing more? Because you're a bright boy, you aren't you?
Thank you.
You're very well read. You're very well
qualified.
I've seen his credentials.
Right.
You know, so do you fancy going into something like
I'd
this?
love to. We're talking about a second series now, and as I say, as a separate issue, it's very easy, well, not easy, to be a manager, stay in football and do the stereotypical coaching thing. And here, talking about the moral argument, using football to give kids a moral argument, I thought was a great way to do something different. So I'd love to carry that on.
I see you've dedicated all of them to your lovely mum.
Yes.
She's still very much...
She's always there. You know, it was the only way I would do it, and I was very fortunate. And again, this brings me to why I wanted to do them. She was very on me, because I lived in a football family, but she was the one who said to me, no, you must do your studies as a fullback, you must do your homework and all these things, and whilst promoting the football thing at the same time. So without her, I wouldn't have had that. I did get decent school qualifications, and if it was down to my dad, I would have played football every day. So Mum definitely had a huge part to play.
And you mentioned, obviously, coming from a footballing family, obviously your dad and your uncle being involved in football. Were you relieved when your uncle didn't get the job as England manager?
Harry Redknapp's your uncle, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because that might have made things a bit... You mentioned on Jonathan Ross, that would have made things a bit tricky for you.
Yes, I did. I mean, I worked under Harry coming through at West Ham, and it was good. He was great for me, but it was difficult for different reasons. And you know what press, public can be like. You know, the minute you play, you don't play so well, it's because this is his uncle. So it was, however much I wanted Harry to get it for him, at the same time, I think we were both aware that it would have brought up a few differences.
Well, obviously, we were talking about Alex Ferguson's book and, you know, David Beckham and all this sort of thing. What do you think in terms of... can you be can a man forge ahead with his career and be a partnership at the same time? Do you think it's just as difficult for a man as it is for a woman?
I think they certainly can. I think the problem, and I listened to what you were saying before with David and Alex, they were very different personalities. And I think Jane was really right when she said that people take different paths, and it probably suited them both at that time to go their own ways. David was brilliant for Manchester United, then he went to Real Madrid and carved out an amazing career, and he certainly kept up the work ethic from what I saw. He really did. We're talking about practising his free kicks.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself as a brand, Frank?
No,
Brand Frankie?
No, I don't. I mean, you know, I'm sitting here, you know, with the books, which is something I really love doing. I don't know the brand thing. I'm not as comfortable in front of the camera and in my boxer shorts and that, unfortunately.
Christine, obviously, great friend of ours, and how's all that going? Is it
very good? We're happy. We're talking about those relationships. We are. Christine's busy. I'm busy. We find the perfect way to match it. We get lots of time together, and it's quite nice to come back from your busy jobs and have your bit of time at home where you talk about other stuff.
Exactly.
And she's very aware of the pressures, and I'm aware of her pressures as well.
And football, you're practising on Christmas Day, aren't you? A lot of the time.
We train every.
So family life is tricky.
It is. It is.
He's the perfect man, isn't he?
I'm not.
We love Christine as well. She's gorgeous. A lovely girl.
Yeah, give her our love.
I will do. She's out the back.
Oh, lovely. Best of luck with the book, Frankie. It's so nice to see you know, a sports person doing something like this. It's about kids and introducing, you know, good moral values in terms of sport and all that sort of stuff. It's really refreshing. It's nice to see you. Frank Lampard, everyone.